Yeah, so it was
Yeah.
compounded.
And understood. A couple things. So when we talk in generalities, like saying, oh, my vitamin D was too high, go ahead and look at your lab. So we usually want people to be between 60 and 80, and I'll tell you many people on their lab. So norm is usually 30 to 100. A doctor, MD, which we love for what they do in terms of emergency and those sorts of things, but they're not necessarily going to get you healthy. Okay, that's our perspective, and I won't go into that whole conversation. That said, you can double check against too high. Okay. So if you're between, 60 and 80, then we're okay with that. Just so you're aware. And then that was just an example, right? So that's where, it's a common thing that people are actually very low in. If there's additional supplements that Brittany thinks that you need, then she's definitely going to be on it is the message that I want you to take away from here today. But with what you're describing, it's not likely because we're targeting the right pathways, in other words, to give the liver, the kidney, the lymph and GI the support that they need to try to get you through this. And then the other thing is we like to and I say this not having a direct relationship with you. So, I don't want you to walk away from this conversation and be like, that Dr. Katie, what in the world does she know? Right. My intent is definitely genuine to help you in this situation. But sometimes we as humans are like, yeah, but this is my schedule. Like you got to wake up when I need you to wake up. Right. So if you're experiencing longer sleep, okay. And again, I say this genuinely, perhaps try to go to bed earlier and then see if you can wake up maybe at a same or similar time than what you need. But the longer sleep, you may feel, like you said, that kind of a listlessness, excuse me, or malaise, that you're not normally used to. But if you're just starting to experience extended sleep, then your body is very much still in recovery mode from that event, right? And that is very hard. That's again, I talk about the clinical side of healing and the human nature side of healing. You're battling that human nature side of healing. You're like, yeah, but I don't have the flu and my shingles are gone. Yet I'm still experiencing the negative impact of that. Like that's not okay with me. Right? And that's where I would say the good news is that you are experiencing that extended sleep. That's to me, that's when I start to get full body chills, is when I start to hear those, that discussion around sleep, because then I know there's massive healing on the other side of that. So as frustrating as it is to wake up feeling like lethargic, maybe attempt to give yourself some grace, in that moment, attempt to maybe go to bed maybe a little bit earlier or even just lay down and rest a little bit earlier than you're normally used to try to wake up at that same time or the time that you need to, for your appointments or your schedule, for your day. And look for that window of time in your day to improve, right? To watch for incremental changes in that window of your day. So extended sleep, great, that's a win. Let's focus on that. And then your next focus is that window of time when you first wake up in the morning, but you have the nutrients that you need from the supplements. And then your job is to do your best with choosing the nutrients from those whole foods to try to support your system to the best of your ability as well. Does that help? Okay.